Hi, I'm Will from Teston.
I'm Norm from Teston.
Norm, do you know how you used to court ladies back in my day?
Roses and big rocks. Hit them in the head.
No, club with a head. No.
Exactly.
We made mixtapes.
Back in the 80s.
90s, thank you very much.
90s. Mixtapes.
Cassettes. Yeah, so you would take your CD collection, your tape collection, and one of those double-deck tape decks.
Okay.
And you would record
from the radio.
No.
Listen to the radio and go,
what were we,
press
peasants?
Record. Oh man, that was a sweet jam. Stop.
You don't want the radio version of stuff. You want it straight from the CD or from the cassette. So you would make a tape of all your favorite songs. And the tape could have a meaning. Could say, hey, I really like you a lot. I think you're really cute.
What if the lady does not have a tape player?
Well, now no one has tape players.
Okay.
But the fine folks at Makerbot, which is why he's here, they've solved this problem.
They've brought back the mixtape.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they brought it back, but they've designed this.
Okay, that looks like something printed by the Makerbot.
This is something printed by the Makerbot. It is a cassette tape for anybody under the age of 20 who doesn't know what this is.
In a cassette tape, usually there is tape that spins from one spool to the other.
Magnetic tape.
Magnetic tape.
Yes.
And it goes to the bottom, put it in the tape player, and it reads off the tape, and you get music.
Music comes out.
Both sides.
Right, one side has one set of songs, one side has the other set of songs. What this is a plastic shell that looks like a cassette tape that I printed on our Makerbot with buttons.
Okay.
And the buttons control an MP3 player that's sitting inside. I think you have one in your right hand.
This is what you're actually buying.
And so open that box up. Let's show you what the actual MP3 player looks like. The idea is that they have a couple of designers that are working on staff at Makerbot now, and they're designing kits that help kind of get more value from your Makerbot.
Yeah.
So this is, while the Makerbot Mixtape is the first thing that they've printed that works with this particular MP3 player, a bunch of people have done some other designs that work with the same hardware. It's a really straightforward piece of hardware. There's 2 gigs of flash memory on board. It has about 4 or 5 hours worth of battery, depending on how you use it, I guess. And then there's an audio jack on the bottom. The audio jack, let me find my cable here, works with this weird USB cable, and you can use it to load songs. It shows up just like a USB flash drive when you plug this into the audio jack and plug the other end into your computer.
Kind of like an iPod Shuffle.
Kind of like an iPod Shuffle, but you don't have to fool with iTunes.
Right.
Which is good.
Right. It's USB to analog audio for charging and for data transfer.
And when you plug your headphones on, it turns on. And then if you flip it around the other way, there's 4 or 5 buttons on the front. I think we're only actually using 3 of them now. I don't know what these other 2 do or if they're even connected to anything. But they're for forward, back, and play, and you can hold them to do different things.
So this is a very modern little MP3 player. Very simple MP3 player, no display, stores music, audio comes out. And what it does, you have a design that you can download for the Makerbot, and what you do is you print out a tape cassette, and this goes inside. So
the player is actually right around in here, inside the device. These are buttons that poke through holes in this black piece, and they can kind of push forward and back and whatever. The MP3 player is not, I don't want to say it's a bad MP3 player, because I don't have a whole lot of experience in the $25 MP3 player range.
Yeah.
It does not sound as good as an iPod or an iPhone.
But you know what, it'll probably sound better than a tape cassette.
Yeah, it definitely sounds better than a tape cassette. It works with MP3 files. I threw a bunch of different weird formats at it, and it played everything just fine. So I printed the kit a few times on the replicator. Yeah. This was the first try, and it turned out okay, but it's not great.
2 colors. Now you don't need to use 2 print heads because you print out separate pieces. It doesn't print out this whole thing at once.
No, it doesn't print out the whole thing at once. Each piece, in fact, actually you can see them here. There are, I think, 8 different pieces, including some buttons and some locking pieces that hold everything together. And it took probably 4 hours to print, all told. Stop throwing things on the floor, Norm.
Let's piece this together.
Okay, so first, you take the main frame, flip it over to the back side. It has a B on it. Pop the back cover in, and you can tell the back cover from the front cover because it doesn't have holes here for the playback buttons. I'm snapping that into place. Then I'm going to flip it over, put the MP3 player in here with the buttons side on the front. And the buttons are the little shiny spots right here. And it just tucks right in. And set that down for a second, and I'm going to assemble the front cover. So I have the buttons, and they just push through these holes in the front. You may have to give it a little bit of force. I actually cracked a couple of front covers doing this. You can always print another one. It's the nice part about Makerbotting. There we go. Snapped on. I'm going to put that on the same way I put the back cover on. A little bit of a pull. Now my chassis is a little bit warped because my Makerbot's still not exactly dialed in yet. I don't have full covers on it. But yours shouldn't necessarily be like that. I'm going to put the back pins on first. Those are the slightly larger ones. You'll see there are 2 kinds of pins here. One has little knobs inside and one does not and is slightly larger. The larger one is the back. Tucking those in and they just snap into place. There are 2 of them. Okay, I'm going to put the front pins on at the same time, and they just tuck in. There's a little knob on the outside, a little button on the outside that tacks into the hole on the back pins. And that sandwiches the whole thing together nicely. And of course, it's easy to take apart. If you want to take it all out and get your MP3 player back, you can with just a normal little screwdriver. As you can see, it's not the best looking thing in the world, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you actually made a mixtape. I didn't just make a mixtape.
No.
I actually made a mixtape.
Kind of. First you made the tape, then you made the list of songs.
What's on this mixtape?
That one's blank right now because you just took it out of the box.
What's on that one?
The other one has a bunch of White Stripes songs on because I was listening to the audio quality of the MP3 player.
Pearl Jam, that's not your
90s
mixtape mix?
I have not made the mixtape yet. I've just made the mixtape.
Okay.
A couple of things to note, there are already 3 or 4 other designs that will work with this MP3 player on Thingiverse, so if you don't like the retro vibe of the cassette, you can get something that looks like a heart. There's a couple of other things I thought were pretty cool.
What if you don't have a Makerbot?
If you don't have a Makerbot, they will sell you a pre-printed mixtape along with the MP3 player kit. It's $39 versus $25 for just the MP3 player itself. They're obviously going to do a much better job printing it than I do, so your mileage might be better if you do that. And I think you can choose the colors if you order the $39 version. Of course, if you want to print different colors, I think they sell the spools of ABS for around $50 each, depending on whether you want glow in the dark or ABS or PLA or what.
Well, this is by far the most hipster thing you've ever done.
Pretty close. For Tested, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
We'll see you guys later.